Good afternoon, guys. It's Monday, March 25th, and I'm just a bit late at doing this video. Sorry. So, things that we have going on this... Actually, first, let me just tell you, I'm going to address these 5 things in this video. So I'm going to talk about Unit 2, information and timelines, Excel, Google Sheets, and Desmos. I'm going to just talk for a second about the Fire Math Contest, give you some EQAO info, and I want to ask you some questions about the virtual classroom. That's what's happening. Okay, so let's switch over to the hub. So here's our class. And if we head down here to the calendar, which is way down, you'll see that the data collection survey assignment is due today, if possible. So what you wanted to do for that was create a survey using Google Forms or SurveyMonkey and get some people to do it, whoever you can. Just get some people. I know a bunch of you posted in the discussion board, and some people did it and some people didn't. So hopefully you were able to get enough people to do your survey. And then you just had to write a little paragraph about what you noticed about your questions. Were any of them, do you think, had any kind of bias in it? Or do you think the way you worded them was confusing? Or I don't know, did you learn anything after you got responses back? So it's just a general, we're just kind of exploring this topic. You'll get into way more detail if you take the data management course in grade 12. This is totally just an intro to surveys. There's so much to them, and it's so interesting. If you liked this stuff at all, then you should definitely get into statistics. There's lots of need for it. Okay, the other thing that's due today is the line of best fit content. And then tomorrow we're working on the line of best fit with technology content. And then by the end of this week, we're working on the very last thing, which is making conclusions. So I'm going to go over that stuff, and I'm going to open up the next content today too. So let's go into content. And we'll head over to Unit 2, Linear Relations. And there's 2 parts to this. I've currently hidden part 2 because I was just fixing a ton of stuff in it, and I think it's good. I'm just going to check one more time. Okay, so Scatterplots. So when you click on this, you should be working your way through all this. This data collection assignment is due, so if you want to check out what's required in it, basically you just had to make a survey, collect data, and then answer this part 3 stuff. And the best, and I did a video on how to make a Google form if you needed some help too. And then the best way to submit that, really the only way, because otherwise it's so confusing. So head over to the Dropbox and submit it there. I think I made a link to the Dropbox. Yeah, see Unit 2 data collection assignment. So you head over there and it opens up the folder for you to submit it in. So try to submit everything through Dropbox if possible, as opposed to email, because I find it really hard for me to keep track if 40 people emailed me their assignment. Okay. So then you should have been working your way through Scatterplots and all these things. Just so you know, I added an extra Scatterplot thing. So if you've probably already done it, but first of all, if this wasn't working for you or if the course glossary is missing stuff, which it was, I just made a video that kind of took over these 2 things. So you can check that out. And then at the very bottom, I added another Delta Math practice questions because somebody was just asking for some. So I just checked. They had a couple correlation questions for some extra practice. So you can go to your Delta Math account and there will be a correlation assignment that you can take, and it has a correlation coefficient and histograms if you feel like practicing it. It's not required, it's just for extra practice if you feel like it. Okay. So then Scatterplots, you're hopefully done all of that. So you are hopefully working on lines of best fit after you submit your data collection assignment. So lines of best fit are when we can see that the trend is following some kind of relationship, like a linear relationship. So maybe we see that the points look kind of straight-ish, kind of like this one. Kind of looks like a negative correlation here. So maybe we'll add a line of best fit that goes right through as many points as we can and kind of follows the trend of the data. Like so. And then there's all these things that we don't need to learn about in grade 9 math called correlation coefficients, the R or R squared value. And if you want more info on that, I mean, you can just Google it, check out Khan Academy, or if you want me to make a video about it, I can do that too for anyone that's interested in learning more about those. You'll learn how to calculate them, and obviously Excel, Google Sheets, and Desmos can calculate it for you. But you'll learn exactly what that means if you take this grade 12 data management course. So an R value of 0.775 is not bad, but a perfect match would be 1. Okay, so then you can go through and try these practice questions. This link wasn't working before, so I've just fixed it. And now it's just a quiz on Khan Academy. So if you click on this link, it opens in a new window. And it just takes you to a Khan Academy quiz, which all you have to do is say which line fits the graphed data below, or the data graph below, sorry. So then you have to pick, is it line A, B, or C? Looks like A. Oops, did I choose it? There we go. Check it. Psha, got it. And then you can keep trying. It says do 4 problems. So next question, which it's pretty, I think they're pretty obvious. Okay, so that's just helping you with lines of best fit. Sorry that the other link wasn't working. And then there was a Curve Expert link that was broken, but I've never used Curve Expert, so I don't even know. I just took that link out. It's just because when they created this, that's the program they used in 1999 or whatever year it was. Okay, so then lines of best fit with technology. Again, they're using an extremely old Excel version, so I eventually will update these. I'm sorry. But they're just kind of showing you how to create a line of best fit, which just if you want a quick explanation, if we open up Excel, I have the 2016 book version. So let's make a quick table of some random data. That I'm just speaking up. Okay, so say that's our data. And then we wanted to make a chart. So I'll just highlight my data and I'll go to insert and I can check any kinds of these charts. So I want to make a scatter plot. If you click on the down arrow, it'll give you options. We never really want one that's like lines attached to points because that's not going to tell us anything. So we'll pick this guy and it creates our thing for us. You can add labels for the X and Y axis too. There's a whole bunch of things you can do. So you can add titles for your axes, which would be good. A chart title. Yeah, I don't want a data label, but anyways, so in Excel, if you're using Excel, then you can add a trend line. And you can have options for your trend line if you think it's a straight line, or if you think it's an exponential, or something else. But we're always going to work with linear because grade 9 math is all linear. And then when you get to grade 10, it's quadratic, and grade 11, it's a whole bunch of functions. So we'll add a trend line for you just by doing this. That's an example of how to do something in Excel. Just enter your data, pick a scatter plot, and then add a trend line. That's what they call it in Excel. Okay, so that's how you do that. Or a lot of people are emailing me and saying they're using an iPad or Chromebook. So if you're doing that, then you can use Google Sheets. And I did make a video on this too somewhere. So if you wanted to make in Google Sheets, you know what, I'm just going to copy my data. So I'm going to have to copy that. So Google Sheets will work the same way, somewhat. It has maybe a few less features than Excel, but it'll be fine. Okay, so I've made my data, and then I want to insert a chart. So I can click on this Insert Chart button. And it defaults to a column chart. So we'll switch that by clicking on chart type and we'll get a scatter plot. There we go. And then you just got to work your way through this chart editor here. So we can customize stuff. So if we want to relabel the axes, we could do that here. Potentially play around with it, see where it is. I'm not as good at Google Sheets. Oh, horizontal axis. I feel like, I'm sorry, I don't want to take up all your time with me like messing around. Legend? No. I feel like axis titles. Oh, I got this. Okay, chart and axis titles. So you can click on, oh, I want to name the horizontal axis. Boom. Or I want to name the vertical axis. Boom. Just enter it there. Okay, and then if you want to add a line of best fit, it's a bit weird in Google Sheets, but I finally found it. And you click on series. And then if you scroll down, there's something called a trend line, which is our line of best fit. And you just click that box. And then you can pick what kind of line. So ours is always going to be linear. And then it will add your trend line for you. And you can even get it to show you your R-squared value if you want, but we don't need it to. Okay. So that's how you make a scatter plot and a line of best fit in Google Sheets. Or, final option, you can use Desmos. So if you go to desmos.com, or you can download the Desmos app, then you just add a table, put in your data. Okay, so say that's all my data, because I don't want to keep going here. So there, it creates it for you on the fly. You can just drag this around, and we only really want this first quadrant here. And if we want to create a line of best fit, it's a little bit trickier in Desmos, but you can. So you just kind of create an equation. So we know a straight line is like y equals mx plus b. That's kind of like the equation of a straight line. And we're just going to change it so it's now y1, because check out our, oh, all my data's gone. That's weird. Oh, back. Okay, so when I create an equation, I'm going to title it y1, because that's what the data in my table is listed as. So y1. And then instead of an equal sign, I'm going to use this a squiggly line. And then I'm going to do mx1 plus b. So that way it uses the points from my table to create a line of best fit. And it'll give you your r-squared value 2, and it'll give you your slope and your y-intercept, m and b. And there you go. So you can do that in Desmos if you want. Okay, so you got 3 options. So if you're using a laptop, or sorry, if you're using an iPad or Chromebook, Desmos or Google Sheets would be your best options. Okay, back to this. So that's what you should be working on today, lines of best fit. And I kind of just went on to talk about the technology part, which is happening tomorrow. And then to finish off this week, we want to do the making conclusions and making conclusions assignment. So for the making conclusions part, it's just kind of tying everything in together. It's talking about correlation, lines of best fit, scatterplots, and just kind of like making a statement about the correlation and the correlation strength and what we can discover about these 2 variables. Just kind of tying it all in together. So you can try that and try the practice questions. And then you'll have to do this assignment, which, let's just check that due date. Sorry. Okay, so due date for our making conclusion stuff is this Thursday. So today we're finishing up lines of best fit, and tomorrow, and then we're moving on to making conclusions and trying to get that done by Thursday. Okay, so for the assignment, if you scroll to the bottom, then I made a video explanation of how to do this assignment, so you can just watch that video. So I won't really talk about it in this video because it's a lot of talking. All right, and then later today, the rates of change and initial value part will open up, and that'll get into tables of values, rates of change, and equations of linear relations, which will be completed by the 2nd week of April. Okay, next topic. I said I was also going to talk about the Friar Math Contest. So only 7 people signed up, and it's actually closed now because I had to order the tests on Friday. So I'm just going to take down this widget here. But if you did sign up for the Friar Math Contest, then check your email because I'll be contacting you and letting you know the details. Okay, next thing. What else was I talking about? EQAO. Okay, EQAO info that you need to know. Are you in grade 8? if you are, grade 8s will be writing EQAO on Thursday, June 6th, all day at the Board of Education. So that's right across from Limeridge Mall, kind of. 20 Education Court. So that's the date for you guys, which check and make sure you're not on some kind of trip. I think one person is, so we might have to make another arrangement for you, but most of the grade 8s will be writing EQAO Thursday, June 6th, and it's probably going to take us most of the day. So talk to your teachers because I've let them know too. Okay, but if you're in grade 9, 10, 11, or 12, then you will be writing at your own school. Unless you want to come write with us on June 6th. So unless I hear from you, you're writing at your own school. So I'm going to contact your guidance/math department at your school if you're in grade 9, 10, 11, or 12 and set up with them what time you're writing at and who your contact will be, and you'll just go write with all the other grade 9s at your school. And obviously that's your only option if you live in Ottawa or Fergus or wherever you live. But if you're in Hamilton and you go to school here at a high school and you don't want to go to your high school to write your EQAO and you feel like writing it with us at the board, then you can. But you need to let me know. I won't know that. So if that's you and you're like, I don't want to go write it at my school, then let me know and come write it with us and all the other grade 8s. Okay, last piece of information, virtual classroom. Okay, sorry, it's the longest video of all time. Okay, right where this Friar Math Contest widget is, I'm going to replace that with a virtual classroom request form. So if you ever feel like I need a virtual classroom for this topic, then just go there and fill out the request form, and then I'll get notified and I'll set up a virtual classroom. So I never really know what people want to talk about in there and what time's good, so let's just do it on a request basis. All right, that's it. Good luck. Sorry for the long video.